So throughout this, we've heard from people that they don't have much time and they want to know where their unit is. And so how can they move there? They've got so much excitement. And so I think people have waited long enough, 30 years, to buy the property and trying to come up with a solution for this particular site. So it's not just about pretty pictures and big ideas. You know, we brought a team together that has helped design communities that are actually happening. So this is not pie in the sky, that this is it and this is the end of it. So some people have asked us at the last meeting, well, what's the next step? So the next step for this project is the consultant team, the city staff will work on refining the documents and have essentially document everything we've heard here. There are, over the summer that will happen. In August and September we'll have some more public meetings as this goes to the Redevelopment Authority and the Common Council. There is probably amendments to our zoning code. You know, we're updating our zoning code now, but in a lot of communities, zoning codes don't allow this. So you have to go back and look at and fix your zoning code to make sure that you can do this type of development. We will have to amend the comprehensive plan. I'd like to see us adopt this plan as a community so that we can say we really believe in this plan and this planning process. We'll talk about phasing. So once the plan is adopted and documented, there's a variety of different ways to attack it. Obviously, we have to bring in more fill. Portions of the site are still in the floodplain, so there's still floodplain that has to be filled. There's a lot of engineering design, detailed engineering design that has to happen to make the thing operational. Steve and I would like to see us just work on the environmental aspects of it, but we know that can pay some of the bills with ecotourism, but we also know that there are aspects to the site that can happen. You know, Copeland is already there. We could already start working on trying to, enliven that corner there. And because we see this thing really evolving, to me, in a couple different ways, but really repairing the wetlands, getting people out on the site. I know the engineering department's doing a study on that old railroad bridge, and there's potholes in there that we need to fix so people can get out there and enjoy the site. Putting in a system of trails. So as someone said today in the group, once you go there 3 or 4 times to walk on the trails, you're going to want to live there if you don't already. There's some permitting, obviously, that things are going to have to go through. This is in TIF districts, and it's in tax increment finance 12. There's increment created on the east side of the street where Festival Foods is. As that TIF pays off existing bills, we'll have a cash flow source to help move this along. That doesn't mean we still don't have to work through a capital budgeting process, but you know, the idea of putting in that road really opens the site up, and development can happen in phases. So what you see on the top of this is number 1, continued trail ecological enhancement. Tom, there you go, number 1 at the very top. And then number 2, repair of the railroad truss. I've talked about that. Develop some public-private pier facility. The city has been very lucky in receiving grants, primarily grants, for the rebuilding of the levee. We got $1 million to rebuild the levee through the Wisconsin DOT. We've been lucky through the Wisconsin DNR to put in trails, through the Waterway Commission, help pay for floating docks at Riverside Park. And so there's grant opportunities. The trail from the Convention Bureau goes all the way out to the state trail. That was $1 million grant that the city received. We've seen 3 or 4, Tim, right? 4 DNR grants for trails. We're just finishing paving the trail finally behind Festival Foods. We have a trail that some people might not even know about at Isle of Plume. We already have, the engineering department's already started putting this trail in. So taking advantage of grant and funding opportunities are going to be key. We hope we're not going to just rely on TIF or city borrowing, but we need to leverage, as we have in the past, outside funding sources. The redevelopment of a commercial entry, again, that brings excitement. People start seeing things happen. A road goes in, development sites at Copeland Avenue can happen, and future commercial can take place. We've talked about in other communities, if we start building the public infrastructure along the waterfront, if we can recruit a developer, to build little restaurants, what people are doing are they're bringing in food carts. They're making things happen. They're putting up these pocket restaurants. People might think it's outlandish, but you have a barge out there and you have a little restaurant barge. But people are having, all over the country, activating their streets and their communities by making things happen, and that's what we hope this plan does. The Parkway Street, again, is an early project, and then those phases, those blocks can happen. We can start building the first phase of the green fingers along with that to handle the stormwater. And again, future residential. You know, we've heard that people are interested in co-op housing, they're interested in row housing. This property is unique at the confluence of three rivers. That doesn't happen a lot on the Mississippi River. And so people have housing choices. We know that people can pick any community in this area to live in. And so what we want to do is provide a housing product that's unique. So whether it's row houses, you can't find a row house in this community, whether it's cooperative housing, condominiums. The market just tanked in 2007, but we're hearing that the condo market is coming. So again, this is a 5 to 8 or 10-year build-out. We've seen this happen though in downtown. We have, through TIF number 6, there's been $60 million worth of development. TIF number 11, where we're at today, in 7 years, this TIF here has produced over $60 million worth of development. So the development program that shows $80 million of development, you know, we're looking at that could happen south of the river too, at the end of Front Street, just where this possible fest grounds might happen. So it's not, we don't think pie in the sky to think that this project could have $80 million worth of tax base. And again, we want to create something unique. What a lot of developments have, they're basically building subdivisions. I've always said for a long time, what we want to do is build neighborhoods. So when you come to this area, you're in a neighborhood. You're not just in another subdivision. And again, the whole theme here is, as Ed, I think, hit home on, is that this is public. It's very public. We don't want to create an environment where you feel that you've now arrived at your gated community and the gate closes once you hit the clicker. Where's that clicker, by the way? So really, that's kind of, how do we get there? You know, there's a lot more work to do. There's a lot more work to do between now and the end of summer. You know, it's great that the council has been highly engaged in the process, so they won't be seeing this for the first time in August or September. And there's been community engagement, and we just need to keep the ball rolling. And there's a bunch of tired folks out there. But these folks, they did a lot of heavy lifting over the last week, and we are going to ask questions. So again, this is the team that produced, I think, a very high quality project. So we're going to move our chairs up, and we're going to